What is up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB, and man, oh man, I just got done watching The Fanatic. The Fanatic is a 2019 film that was written and directed by Fred Durst. And if you're thinking, wait, it can't be that Fred Durst from Limp Bizkit, right? No, yes, it is indeed that Fred Durst, the lead singer, artist, whatever the hell you want to call him, from Limp Bizkit. I didn't realize that he had such aspirations to become a director. Hey, kudos, Mr. Durst, because you did it. You made one movie. And oh boy, it's going to be an infamous one, to say the least. It stars John Travolta, who clearly has some of the best luck when it comes to movies nowadays. Not only just the last few years, but the last movie that I watched with him as the lead was Gotti, directed by E from Entourage. So I think Travolta needs to realize, do not star in movies that are made by first-time directors from people who should have no business directing at all. Here is another case. He plays Moose, because I'm not kidding, his character is named Moose. And you find out that, well, you quickly can realize that there's something off about him. He has some form of autism or something along those lines. And he's a huge movie fan. I'm saying he's been watching movies his whole life. It's an escape for him. And he becomes obsessive about it. There's this one actor in particular, Hunter Dunbar, that he's very much obsessed with. And when he finds out where this guy lives, he goes there, he breaks in, he does some things, mostly because he couldn't get an autograph from the guy. But still, it becomes this movie that I don't know what it's trying to tell. I don't know what message or moral of the story that we're trying to capture here, but things happen, and then it ends. And that's the movie that I just watched. I did just watch it, so I guess that's why my mind is so jumbled and my thoughts are so all over the place, because I'm still trying to process what the hell I saw. John Travolta, I've seen some people who have reviewed this say that he gives a terrible performance. It's over the top. It's bad, bad, bad. I actually didn't mind him. Like, I thought his performance was good. He clearly jumped right into this role. He tried to give it something. It's almost like he thought, hey, maybe this will be the Oscar nomination that I've wanted for so long. Clearly that won't be the case, but I can appreciate how much of himself was lost in the role. He wasn't like John Travolta that I've seen in any other movie before, so he did give us something. He did try to do something. It's the effort that I am giving him credit for. I don't like his hair in this movie. He just has this weird hairstyle that's very distracting. It's almost hard to pay attention to anything else on screen when he is on screen. But I thought the performance itself was fine. It's the writing that's the issue. It's the writing that's horrible. The writing is terrible. Look, I don't know if I'm supposed to feel bad for this guy because he has autism and he doesn't know any better, and so when he doesn't know how to separate that, hey, this guy is just an actor, he's not really that hero that you know and love from the movies, and I think that we could have done more with this. I think we could have explained a little better why he's so obsessed with not just movies. They have a flashback that's bullshit, and that's like, oh, hey, this is why he likes movies so much. But this actor in particular, this character that he plays, because the first scene is him buying this vest of the actor and wanting to wear it so damn bad. But I think if you got into more of the psychology of why he's so obsessed with this guy, especially because the actor, Hunter Dunbar, he's much younger than Travolta, so I'm curious about what the appeal was. Is it just because it's an action star? Because when you see in his room, he loves horror movies, and I don't really think that this actor was doing horror movies, unless I missed something. Maybe he was doing horror movies. I don't know! Hunter Dunbar is played by Devon Sawa, who is a name that you might remember from a long time ago. I mean, he still does stuff once in a while, but I remember him from Idle Hands, from Final Destination, and he was Casper. So he was like the younger, good-looking kid who was in a bunch of stuff. Now he's older now. I think he was fine acting wise in the movie. I just think his character was horribly written. He was a dick in some senses, and then in other senses, in other scenes, I thought he was justified in being a dick to, especially Moose in particular. Moose broke into his house. Moose is like stalking him, legit stalking him. He's not really overreacting when he's yelling at Moose. Sure, he should be able to realize that there's something mentally off here, but they try to make him look like a bad guy because he's going through a divorce and he kisses his maid and then feels bad about it. But it's like, well, you're not with the mother of your child anymore. You guys, they've clearly set up that they're having problems. So why am I supposed to think that he's an asshole for kissing his maid? His gardener, there's a scene where he gives the gardener the day off and because it's raining. And then you see that later on, there's so many things that don't add up. There's so many characters that don't make sense in the roles that they play. They do things that don't make any sense. For example, there is a character, Leah, played by Anna Goljar. She is like the best friend to John Travolta, and she's always there trying to guide him and help him. She also narrates this movie, and I don't understand why. Why is she narrating this? It's not like, I mean, I was waiting for them to say that maybe it's his sister, or maybe it's something along those lines, but I don't get why she is so integral. At least the movie thinks that she's so important to it. She was just kind of there at certain points, but didn't factor into it a whole lot. When you get to the end of the movie, I'm trying to figure out what's the moral of the story. What's the message? Am I supposed to feel bad for Moose? Because I kind of didn't. Or am I supposed to feel bad for Devon Sawa because they don't make it seem like I'm supposed to feel bad for him? So is this just a movie where we watch two unlikable characters who clash and stuff happens? Directing wise, Fred Durst, I will say he's better than E from Entourage. He's better than Rob Zombie, because Rob Zombie, man, his directing gives me a headache sometimes. So Fred Durst, directing wise, his shots, the scenes of Travolta riding down in Los Angeles and you see him at his job and whatnot, they're fine. It's the writing that's the biggest issue. The writing is horrible. The story is horrible. There's backstory stuff that either doesn't make any sense or isn't fleshed out or explained enough. There's a bunch of cuts of random drawings that's supposed to be transitional from scene to scene, and I didn't really get it. I didn't get the point of it, especially the very last drawing. I'm like, what is this bullshit? Seriously, it was so all over the place. There is a scene where Devon Sawa is with his son, and he's driving in the car, and he turns on the radio, and a Limp Bizkit song plays. Now, I know that it's Fred Durst, and I know that, sure, fine, you're going to probably want to put a Limp Bizkit song in there. You don't have to, but you're going to do it because you're Fred Durst, right? It's not bad enough that you just do that. You could have the song in the background as the characters are talking or the plot's moving forward, but it's just background music. No, you have to have Devon Sawa stop and say, hey, do you like yourself some Limp Bizkit? This is amazing. This is the best. I grew up on this. The song is hot. And you're sitting there and you're like, why did we stop the movie for an infomercial on Limp Bizkit music? It's just, it was so forced. It was a screeching halt, that scene in particular. And I left this movie so baffled, so confused. How did this get made? Did anybody watch this? Besides the couple people that I've seen on YouTube review it. Like, has anybody actually watched this? I'm talking about fans of horror, because this movie does at the end take a weird horror twist where it does out of the blue get bloody and gory out of nowhere, and I'm still again trying to figure out what was the point of all of this, of any of this. This was weird. This was a trippy movie to watch. I'm not angry, obviously. Like, I'm not saying F this, F that. This is horrible. I've seen much worse movies in my lifetime. As far as this past year goes, though, this might be up there for one of the worst movies that I've seen this year. I'm gonna give it some old bullshit. Man, this some old bullshit. Yeah, let me know in the comments below. If you saw The Fanatic, what did you think of it? Please tell me why. Why did you watch it? What did you think of it? If you haven't seen it, did my review entice you at all out of curiosity to go check this shit out? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!
Separate it, shop it for profit. Hustle legit, cop a big bit. Separate it, shop it for profit. Hustle legit, hustle legit, hustle legit, hustle legit, hustle legit, hustle legit, hustle legit.